let's travel to the east. Welcome back everyone. Well, don't get too excited, we're not going that far east, but we're going to stop in Milford in Connecticut. That is where in 1929 was invented, the lobster rolls. Not French at all. Well, you could say the bun could be a pain au lait, so that's what we're gonna make today. Two things remain to be done. For us to get cooking, and for you, as always, to smash that subscribe button. So let's go. Alright, and we're going to start with the pain au lait. So in a saucepan, I'm going to place my milk and I bring it to the heat on low just to get it warm, slightly warm. In the meantime, in the bowl, I'm going to place my sugar and my yeast and we're going to pour that warm milk over it. We're going to give that a tiny whisk and we're going to let it rest develop for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, in my stand mixer, I'm going to place my flour and my salt and we're going to let it go for 30 seconds to a minute just so it's mixed together. Once our yeast is developed, we're going to pour that mixture into the bowl. We'll then add our egg and we're going to mix that for about 2 to 3 minutes until we are ready to add the butter, which is preferable if it's cold. And then we are going to mix that for another 3 to 4 minutes until our dough starts to form. Then we're going to take it to the bench and we're going to finish kneading it by hand until everything is incorporated and the bowl of dough is completely smooth. We'll then take a bowl, which I'm going to place some oil in the bottom so it doesn't stick. We'll place our dough, which we'll then cover with some plastic wrap. Alright, so the pain au lait are going to proof for about an hour and a half, and in the meantime we're going to start working on the lobster as well as the garnish. Let's go. Alright, so for the lobster we're going to work on a court bouillon. So I'm going to go in my fridge and see what kind of vegetables I have that are already kind of going off. So I have some celery, some onion, I'm going to add some ginger. Then I'm going to toast some spice like cinnamon, coriander, fennel seeds, give them a nice toasty toast, and I'm going to add some orange peels. I will also add some lemon and some lime as well as some Thai basil that I had in the fridge. I will then take a big pot of water, add some salt, add all my garnish and let it cook for about 3 to 4 minutes before I add the lobster. For the lobster, we're going to crack it open and then we'll plunge it in the water and we're gonna cook it for about 2:45, 3.5 minutes, depending on the size of your lobster. Then right away, we're gonna put it in some ice water to chill. While it's chilling, we're gonna start working on the dough. So I'm going to degas it by punching it down and we're gonna roll it like a sausage. I will then cut some 40-gram portions, make sure it's nice and even, and then we're gonna roll them over themselves, do the C-cup technique to make sure they are nice and round and perfect, and we're gonna place them into the mold. I will then cover it up and place it back on my oven to finish proofing for another half hour. In the meantime, I'm going to crack my lobster claws and tail and removing of its shell, make sure it's as perfect as possible, but don't be too stressed because we are going to dicing it up, but it's nice to practice if you ever want to do a whole lobster. I will dice the claws, but I will keep the tail sliced so we still have a nice bite, which is great for the sandwich, and also it gives it a nice presentation side. And now that our buns are pain au lait are proofed, we're going to make some egg wash with an egg yolk and a bit of water, and we're gonna brush that onto the buns. That will give that beautiful golden brown color after they're cooked. Once we're done with that, we're gonna place them in an oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes. Then we're gonna take them off the oven, let them rest. We're gonna take them off their mold so they actually don't keep on cooking. We'll then make a quick yuzu mayonnaise by just making some yuzu juice, mayonnaise, and pepper. And then we'll start whisking that and work on the veggies for the coleslaw. We'll start with some red cabbage, make sure it's as thin as possible. And you can also use mandolin if you want to. We'll then grab a carrot, peel it, slice it on the mandolin, and make also a nice julienne. Finally, we'll do the same thing with the onion, and we're gonna mix that together. We'll then add a bit of parsley. You could also add some coriander, some chives, whatever you like. Some lemon zest, and obviously the mayonnaise we just made, as well as some salt and pepper. Give that a mix, set it aside for later. Now we can finish the lobster salad. I will start by putting the lobster into a bowl, and we're gonna season it with salt and pepper. We'll then add the rest of a yuzu mayonnaise, and we're gonna add the crunch. Starting with some celery, we're gonna cut into a nice brunoise. I will add a bit of lemon zest, some spring onions, and I'm gonna mix the green and the white because they have different flavors. We'll then peel some ginger, make a nice julienne, and dice it as thin as possible. You see the camera is not shaking. It's all about the balance of the knife, okay? So we can also work on our knife skills. I will then grab that ginger and place it in the bowl, and we're gonna give that a good mix and set it aside. One more garnish, I'm gonna take some red chilies, which I will empty the seeds out of, and then we're gonna slice it thin. Then we're gonna take our pain au lait, and we're gonna carve the center, and I'm gonna keep that for snacks, just so we can place, you see hollow inside, we can place our garnishes. I will then grab our coleslaw, which I'll start and put it into the center. Then I will garnish with a delicious lobster salad, make sure it's nice and plump. We really want to see those beautiful claws and tail of lobster. We'll garnish with some celery leaves, as well as the red chilies and the coriander leaves. And then we're just gonna place it on the plate, and it's about time to eat it. And here we have it, another delicious recipe. We made our lobster rolls from scratch. We did the pain au lait, we did the lobster, the garnish, everything. We could be proud, and we should be proud. If you enjoyed this recipe, please like, comment, and subscribe. The recipe will be in the description below, as always. I want to thank you because the channel has been doing so good, and it's because of you. So keep on smashing that subscribe button. Let me know in a comment what you want me doing next. If you have any question about cooking, feel free to ask and I will answer. I'm going to try this. So I will catch you on the next episode.